Alright, so this podcast is brought to you by absolutely nobody. This podcast is just brought to you by, my channel, support. I see Carrot. Thanks for watching. Um, you see one thing about, okay, let's say you want to start singing. Sorry, that was, I'm putting some gel on. I'm here in the club. FYI, I'm just here in the club. I'm about to go inside right now, but, I figured I'd do this podcast right now. And by the time I get inside by the time I go to the line, everyone's gonna be inside already, and I'm not gonna have to wait in line that much. So, anyway, I wanted to make this podcast. This one is important because actually it's something that I actually have to, take note of, and remind myself of. That's why I'm doing this video. I thought it was extremely important to, to do this, and some of you guys might learn something, But anyway, you know, so like let's say you want to like rap or sing, like you gotta, you know there's a beat playing, in the background, and those beats, you like, let's say you're hearing a song and you hear the beat, and the beat, like, there's a drum to it, there's a lot of drums to it, or a lot of instruments, so you keep going with it. Let's say like every 3 seconds that beat hits, or that instrument plays, so you want to kind of hit that note every 3 seconds. So it's kind of like, all right, it's kind of like you're doing a little bit of math, or kind of like it's like a game. If you guys ever played Guitar Hero, you gotta like almost like aim for your notes. Well, you kind of do the same thing in singing. So um, some people make the mistake of like singing to their own rhythm instead of like the beat, because the beat is unique. It has its own timing. It has its every beat is specifically made, depending on which beat you're listening to and where you're playing it and what tempo it's playing, like how slow it is or how faster it is. Like, all that affects the song, so you can't just like try to sing along. Um, you just can't. It's hard. But what you got to do is you actually got to hit those notes. So let's say you're rapping and you want to hit the note. So let's say you the end of your line is also going to hit the beat of the bass or something that particularly stands out in that uh in that song, like one beat, one single beat. And you do that, and then you make, I guess, even lines. So if you're gonna make a line, you gotta have an even amount of numbers on it, or syllables, I mean. You gotta have everything go together with it, so syllables and hitting the beat. And also, you gotta be able to draw your voice up and down, so you hear my voice, it's a little smooth, and you can hear me pretty good. um you don't want to speak with like your you don't want to speak with this here, like you don't want to speak with like your throat, or like, you want to speak like kind of like your stomach, like you it coming from down here, and you want to use all that because that's your actual voice. So let's say I'm singing now. I'm gonna start singing. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So you kind of want to hear smoothness. You don't want to hear like, oh yeah, oh yeah. You know what I mean? So there's a difference between that, and you got to be able to, you. There's people that I guess they could sing and they could do very high notes with, they use their throats. I guess everyone sings differently, but kind of like my advice for starters, for beginners, is kind of trying to make a smooth voice. You don't need like a super scratchy or like a super deep voice for your vocals. You can smoothing it out, and then you know as far as how long you're supposed to hold your notes, so you hold them. So let's say a song is, so you kind of hold it until the other beat drops, so you kind of want to drop it when you know, the beat drops, because it kind of goes with the rhythm of the song, so everything coincides together. It sounds very good, you know. So those are just a few tips, you know, that I'm gonna give you, you know, how to sound better at rapping and how to sing better, you know. But you know, thanks for watching. If you like this, give me a thumbs up, you know, and keep watching my videos. And you know, thanks.